We are live, coming here with another Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Alex. Tonight we are joined by Andy doing tonight.
What up, what up?
And that's it. No Trev tonight. It's going to be a short pod. We might set the record tonight. The Hoosiers are playing any minute now. We're actually starting this as the wheels are still spinning on episode 8 for the elimination. So, like I said, it's going to be a rapid fire one. What do we think about tonight's episode? Even though it's still going on, what do we think about the first 88 minutes?
I mean, I like how all of the political stuff has unfolded now. Like, you got some people, obviously, Jane Michelle getting thrown straight in, someone like Nelly getting put in the hot seat when he burned some bridges last episode, upset that Fezzi didn't get the vote in. But I like the political side, how it all shook out. Other than that, it seems like a pretty ho-hum episode.
Yeah, you got your challenge of the hanging above cars. You had the 4 kind of middle teams that were riding in the middle voted in. Obviously, Jay and Michelle. My main thing is I wish Nelson would have picked Fezzi to go in instead of Olivia. I would have loved to see that team go home. Obviously, we're going to lose. God, it's fucking close right now. But also, Nelson saying needy greedy early. That was on my top 5 highlights. Also, the Bananas 40th birthday. That's something I wish we would have gotten more of that. I feel like back in the day, that would have been like a 15-minute segment. You know, people would like dress as bananas, all this stuff. I feel like it was very short. I'm glad they did it, but very short tonight.
Let me ask you this on the Bananas front. Do you think he means it in terms of he probably meant it in the moment of this is one of my favorite this is one of my favorite memories on the challenge? I mean, he's got a lot.
He's got a lot of challenge memories.
So
I think the 40th birthday would be a big challenge memory if he was surrounded by the Wesses, CTs, Kinneys, Laurels of the world. But
Evan,
he's celebrating with fucking like Mariah and Casey's brother. Like, come on.
yeah.
And we did just see, as it happened live, Horatio and Olivia winning, Jay and Michelle going home. Looks like Jay might be throwing a little hissy bitch fit.
Jay? No.
I mean, that's what he deserves from all the stuff they've been doing. They're still looking pissed.
I'm very glad they showed his little outburst when they were the power couple. When he was like, no, I'm not. The whole like, I'm not weak, you're weak. Only someone who's weak would call someone else weak. Like that whole interaction just made me hate Jay. I didn't mind Jay, but then after that, it's just like, buddy, you're just a little bitch.
Jay's likability took a steep decline this year, and I think so did Michelle's. I think so. Michelle was kind of the bad rookie who wasn't on that much last season, and now she's just kind of like she's like a weirdo. She's nutty.
Well, you know what stuck out to me for Michelle on this one was when Amber came up and gave her a hug, and then she freaked out, and then it almost cut to like a Real Bros of Simi Valley-esque scene where it's like, I don't know why she's so mad at me. I just wanted to hug her. And then the other one, like, look, I'm just mad. I don't want you to hug me right now. Like, it was like, how are they both being the girls and production making such a big deal about this? I was smirked city the whole time.
They're both grown adults.
I know. And they're friends, allegedly.
They were friends, just like Nelson and Fezzi, even though they said, I'm going to give you payback earlier. But yeah, Horatio and Olivia, I think that's their 3rd elimination win on the season. I think they're now 3-0. Obviously, heavy favorites for MVP and Rookie of the Year. Anything else from the episode?
I
will say we're going to get into some of these things next week when we have Trev, when we have more time. We'll dive into some of the bigger things, but I mean, for the most part, it was all the 4 teams involved. I think that was the biggest thing.
I see the chat giving a lot of love to Olivia. Olivia just always comes in hot with these outfits. I mean, I don't know what sort of reality TV show she won prior to the challenge, but it was obviously something. And on the Olivia train of thought, how do you think Nelly saving Faisal and sending Olivia in, but now Olivia's coming back. I mean, knowing Nelly and somewhat knowing Olivia, I feel like I think she'll just kind of brush it off and they'll go back to business as usual. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm interested to see because on one hand, usually, that would cause a massive fight in the house. How could you do this to me? Even though they've only been hooking up for 2 weeks. But Olivia did kind of say it even before. She was like, I just hope he makes the best decision for himself. I don't see them totally being on opposite sides, especially because Jay and Michelle went home. So that kind of opens up another spot in the Misfit Toy Alliance, as I always say. And so now it's kind of like, I feel like it's still Fezzi, Nelly, maybe Horacio in there. Like, got some good previews for next episode with Tori and Jordan yelling at each other. That's classic. But I mean, I hope they still hook up. It's classic. Nelly said he was developing mad fill-ins for her, so good for him. But I think this was an episode that has going to have a ripple effect.
I hope so. Now that you said he has fill-ins for her, it also made me think of, we got 2 all-time challenge lines that are said almost every season that I love. And I think the first one came from Olivia when talking about her and Nelly's relationship. And she said, what we have is real. No, it's fucking not. I mean, that is said on someone on each challenge relationship of all time has always said that. And it's panned out what? 2 times, maybe?
Out of thousands, hundreds.
Exactly. And every time it's what we have is real. I can tell he makes me feel so special. I mean, Nelly T could make anyone feel special. He just smirks the whole time. And then another one was Jay and Michelle in a confessional. And it was the classic, I know you're doing this for your mom. And again, great for Jay. He lost. He sucks. But the classic, I know you're doing this for your mom or for your family or for whatever. I want to win this for you as much as I want to win it for me. It's like, give me a fucking break. That gets said every season, and it's almost always said by people who don't win. And it's just it's so funny because it's a tale as old as time. But I was happy that they lost. Obviously, thoughts and prayers to Jay's mom. But at the same time, that line, that cliche, and it's also, especially for Michelle, because you're right, she kind of showed her true colors today, which are not good colors, even though she still looks good. But in my mind, that was such a ploy to just gain points in a sense of oh, look at how nice and how selfless I am. And it's just shut up. No one cares. Go home. Hope to see you never.
They both came off looking very bad. I think they might be the only team this season that's won 2 challenges, and they screwed themselves from the very first time. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing either one of them back. And Michelle, it's more because of the something to look at. Jay, it's more because I feel like there's an untapped resource there. I feel like we could still get some stuff out of Jay. Obviously, he beat CT back in the day, but I wouldn't want him back so that I can root for him. I would want him back so that he's kind of, the pecking boy to go into elimination a few times, get mad. I'm not weak, you're weak, all that. I wouldn't mind seeing that version of Jay, but if we saw it one more time, one more season, then I think I would have my fill.
Well, and here's the thing with Jay, because I'm always a big fan of just people who are good competitors and good on the challenge. It's hard to deny that he's not a good challenge contestant in terms of doing the challenges and whatnot. But the off the field drama, all that he just ruins it all for him as a holistic challenge competitor, if that makes sense. So I'm very indifferent.
Got a lot of attributes of a good challenger, most of them, endurance, climbing, things like that. But his political game, I think he comes from Survivor. So it's a Survivor political game that just doesn't – it's almost like you'd rather him just not have any TV show experience because it's a wrong political game. As a, you
Yes.
might think like he has a political background, but it's completely wrong for the show they're playing now.
Yeah, and it kind of even gives me Big Brother vibes because I think Big Brother kind of has the same like political side of it. I've never seen the show. Once I found out that it produced the likes of Josh, I was like, all right, well, I'm never watching that. So I think you're right. I think when you have a political background where it's all about you or like you're a part of something, but then it's still you, as opposed to like the challenge inherently from its inception was all about like who was the best competitor, who could do all of these things the best. And then it slowly morphed into the political game. Now that's like 50%, if not more, you could argue, of the show, but it wasn't built on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's when these people are coming from different shows, now they're coming from different countries, networks, their games just don't adapt, which, I think that's fucking part of the reason why CT's been racking up rings because he knows how to play the games. He's been playing the game since the beginning, even though Anissa has too, but I mean, she's playing a lot of different games back home, it seems like. So it's just all over the place, but anything.
She was getting a nice, while they were doing all the workout scenes, she was getting into a nice thing of yoga. So,
I mean, her and Jordan, or no, her and Devin had that opening scene where they were talking about Anissa and Jordan's, friendship, clearly a fucking fake friendship. And Anissa was scarfing down, whatever. It looked like spaghetti and meatballs, like, 9 in the morning.
Yeah, it was early. It was breakfast. And that's not even us like trying to say anything. That's just us pointing out facts.
That's just what happened. We all saw it.
So, I mean, it was. I like that she's doing yoga. Eating her mid-season regime is pasta at 9 a.m. followed by a nice strenuous yoga workout, which I'm sure will help when TJ points to a mountain and says, you got to climb to the top of that. And she's going to say, well, can't I do downward dog?
Yeah, I can't read Mikey Talker's comment. But I agree, Mikey. I agree. I think we all agree. So, yeah, the episode, it was a Move the Chains episode. It was episode 8, and, tonight's kind of a Move the Chains pop. We're looking ahead to next week. The Hoosiers are on. They're already up. What else is new? So
I have noticed it is very cold in Indianapolis, but it looks like it's heating up in Assembly Hall in Bloomington.
All right, so let's see. We're just doing one segment tonight, MVP, LVP. We'll wait and see if somebody gives us an order. Obviously, tonight we only have 2, so it's going to be a shorter snake draft. There's no This Day in Challenge history, anything else. Tonight's episode 8.
Let me ask you this. With the 2-person pod, instead of a snake draft, is it more of a give and go?
All 4?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, because I think you're first.
And we'll do that. So, and that's perfect. They both said the same. And so it is a give and go. So my pick for MVP is going to be Horacio and Olivia. And I kind of just feel like every time they go in and they prove themselves, I really want to give them MVP. Like I really like them both. They're both very good competitors. They've earned their stripes, Johnny, but they're also both very entertaining. I like them both. Like Horacio isn't involved in a lot of the drama, but he's not like, I don't get upset when he's doing confessionals or I don't get overly bored or anything like that. He's just like a good guy. He kind of reminds me, his off the field kind of reminds me of Landon.
Yeah.
Like just seems like a good guy, doesn't really ruffle feathers, isn't like incredibly boring, but seems to be a good like addition to the house. And then Olivia, I mean, obviously her and Nelly is smirk, and when she does a confessional, it's things get hot. So they're going to be my MVP for tonight. They've done it again.
That's a good pick. The thought for Horacio and Olivia, it did go through my mind tonight during elimination since it was a close one. I thought for a second there, like Jay and Michelle are going to win, Horacio and Olivia are going home. And the thought went through my mind like, it's been a fun ride. Like, it's been a fun ride. They've been entertaining. They've won, but it's sad to see them go. So now tonight, it's kind of like, not that they're on borrowed time, but like the slipper still fits. They're still going. And, I don't think they're going to make the finale. Maybe, they could, but I don't think they will. And so now it's just kind of like, enjoy the ride. The ride continues. They're fun rookies to watch. So I like that pick.
Thank you.
My MVP, I'm gonna go Jordan. Just a champion, a winner, winning again. It's just like this challenge, the daily challenge, was made for Jordan because it was climb and jump across cars while your partner is stuck in a car and just has to hand you these things.
Literally laying down for the majority of it.
Just laying down, reaching out the window. Nothing else to do. It really was a one-man challenge for everybody. But this was made for Jordan. And then the fact that he not only gets his revenge by picking Jay and Michelle, but they go home. Like, he got rid of an enemy. Had they won, Jay and Michelle have shown that they can win daily. So they could have won next week and sent Jordan in again, whatever. So, just a winner being able to, have a plan and execute it perfectly.
Well, and one thing to add on of Jay and Michelle leaving, Jordan almost won the elimination. I mean, he was screaming out everything from the rafters to help them win. And I think that you got to at least throw that out there. And then I think the question becomes, do we need to at least think about this as a perfect episode for Jordan?
Perfect game? He might have pitched it.
I mean, he won the daily. He had the power. He knew who he was going to throw in. He stuck to his guns. He didn't ruffle any other feathers for any other votes. His vote, who he sent in, went home, and he helped them, and he had no off-the-field drama.
And, well, not to mention, he got a little showmance with Nerese started.
Yeah.
I mean, don't sleep on that.
I think what they have is real.
What they have is real. They'll be together forever. Just like all of his challenge relationships for Jordan. So are you LVP now?
Yes. So give go. My LVP pick for tonight, I'm going to go with, there's a lot of options. I'm going to go with the third member of STP. I'm giving it to Trev. I know things come up. Supposedly his team is quote unquote playing right now. Guess what? Our team is playing right now. We're still locked in. We're still for the fans, for the AWLs. And he didn't even have the, thought process to, send in a video. Send in a pre-MVP, LVP picks. None of that. It was just, I'm out. And I don't like quitters, even though TJ's kind of softened up to him. So he's my LVP for tonight.
Yeah, we got nothing from Trevor. We didn't get write-ins. We didn't get the video. So that's a good pick, unfortunately, but it's a good pick. My LVP, I'm going to go with – I'll go Jay and Michelle. I mean, it's been a few episodes coming for them. Even when they were winning, they were honorable mentions for LVP. Now they, don't win, and they don't win the elimination. So that's just a kind of a chalk pick, but I'll go with Jay and Michelle just because they lost an elimination. And we talked about kind of the downfall that they both have had this season. Yep.
You want to I've got one honorable mention for LVP. The chat kind of alluded to it. I'm going to give it to Faisal just because he sucks. I mean, he was throwing this little bitch fit about Anissa not throwing him in, and we didn't throw you guys in. But then I think Jordan or Anissa, one of the two, was like, "Well, who cares?" It was like the second episode or something like that. You're not going to take a shot like that. You're not an idiot. So, I mean, he was just This made me hate him for all the reasons I just do. So I need to give him at least an honorable mention.
Yeah, this season for him, it's like he was. towards the beginning of the season, his approval rating was the highest just because he wasn't on the screen. Every time he comes on the screen, his approval rating is just going down. I would say honorable mention LVP would be Nelly, and I think it's an honorable mention. That's why I didn't pick him. But I mean, he's just like looking for every other person to play his game for him. Like when he wins the challenge, he wants Olivia, he wants Devin exactly what to do. When he's in the draw, he doesn't want to pull the safe thing because he wants somebody else to have to make a decision. Like, and he even said, like, I thought for a second because of some of the foreshadowing, like, I thought he was going to send Faisal in because Nelson said, like, I got to go big. Like, I've been doing this for so long. And it's like, all right, if you've been doing it for so long, then fucking do it. And instead, he sends in his side ting, Olivia. So just like all around LVP nod for Nelly just for, not doing anything.
Well, and aside from like what you were saying too, when Faisal drew the other blank one and they knew they were going to get the safe card, he was like, oh man. Like he was genuinely upset to be safe. And it's like, do you not know this game? Like, who cares if you have to ruffle some feathers or piss people off? You're safe. You get ecstatic, you hug Norris, you grab it, and then you make a decision. And I think one thing we'll probably see maybe from here on out, to your point of just he doesn't know what he's doing. Nobody else knows where his head's at. I could see him going into the 4-person vote every episode from here on out until they're gone.
Fessy or Nelly?
Nelly.
Yeah.
Because he keeps waffling around like an egg.
They've been riding in the middle for this long, and this is the point in the season where everybody that's riding in the middle gets kind of the target on their backs this time.
Mm-hmm.
So we got MVP, LVP. Let's see. Anything else? I will give a shout out to the chat, Mikey the Doctor, Ryan McCord. You guys are the OGs. More all in than Trev, more all in than Adam Mitos. If you guys want to join us, Ryan McCord and Mikey the Doctor, turn on ESPN, watch the Hoosiers get the dub.
I did have one last thing to add. Chalk it up again for the club.
What part was it? Was it early or late?
I thought it was post once the 4 get nominated. Because I remember a scene of Amber or Michelle at the bar crying, and then the other one came up and like consoled her a little.
I think you're right. That's when they showed the flashback of the hug scene.
Yes.
I mean, that's classic.
Gotta love it. See me. I was literally thinking real pros.
All right. So like we said from the start, it's going to be a short pod. Probably shortest ever. But we do appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week, episode 9, we should have everybody back. We'll see. Somebody might be on the hot seat. But either way, we should be back to like a regular length. We'll have segments. We can go into everything. We can go into anything that we might have missed tonight. You guys let us know in the chat, on Twitter, everything like that. So anything else before we wrap up?
Hoosiers by 5.
Hoosiers by 5. That is the STP bet of the night. We'll lock it in right now. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week.
One last thing in addition to the Hoosiers. Go U.S. men's national team. Take down the Dutch this Saturday. Let's keep moving on.
USA. I haven't seen a Team USA that strong since War of the Worlds 2. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out Daffy. Love you guys. Go Hoosiers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.